Hi everybody, I am back with a, sorry my dog just growled, back with a video today specifically about bags that I'm going to part with. And because there's quite a few of them, I'm not going to go into tons of detail in each one. I'm pretty much going to show you the bag and then explain, explain why I decided to part with it. There's actually 3 of them that aren't in this video because I actually already shipped them off, and when I dropped them off at UPS I was like, I should have done the video first, but my mind's not always the clearest. So instead I'm going to do what I still have left here, and then just quickly mention what the 3 bags that I sold are. So starting with what I've sold, I sold 2 of them to Yugi's Closet, or not Yugi's Closet, yeah, Yugi's Closet. Why does that sound so weird? Anyways, I think that's right, Yugi's. And then the other one is I sold to Fashion File. And I was going to do a video about the selling process because they are similar and they're different at the same time. And I'm going through quite a bit of change. So then I posted 4 products for quote. And the quotes varied between the 2 companies. And then I know previously when I've sold, their processing time is different too. So I was going to do a video in case anyone's interested in selling to either of those companies or is just curious about it. I was going to share my process behind it. But the 3 bags I parted with were the Gucci Suede Dionysus. So it was the larger one, which they called medium, and I'll actually try to see if I can insert like a picture or something. The Small Berry Lola in a like camel color, and then also the Balenciaga Ghost shoulder bag. I rarely use those. When I bought them, I loved them, but then just trying to incorporate it was hard for me. The Gucci Dionysus, the medium suede, 1, it was really heavy. 2, it was the lighter suede color. So even when you're not wearing something dark, there's just something about the suede rubbing. It kind of just like, I don't know what it does. It kind of like wears it out. And then it's kind of too big for me right now. It's a pretty substantial size bag, and it's just hard to incorporate that kind of like taupe color. With the Balenciaga Ghost bag, it was really stiff, and it's like too stiff. And then also the shoulder strap was kind of strange because if you do it short, you can't open the flap. It like catches on the strap. But then if you do it too long, it kind of looks proportionally strange. Also, because it was so stiff and the shoulder strap was a little bit thick, it doesn't really sit on my shoulder very well. And then with the Burberry Small Lola, I liked it a lot, but then it was just hard to incorporate because I think the kind of tan color was a little bit harder for my wardrobe, and also the chain, there was a lot of gold to that chain, and I don't wear a lot of gold. So I think the bag itself was really nice, it just didn't really work for me. Also, when I was looking at the quilting, I was like, that's a little bit much. So those aren't here, but the remaining bags I have in this little container because I'm trying to visually and spatially separate it out from my collection so that I kind of mentally prepare to part with it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I love my handbags for the most part, and even the ones that I don't use a lot, I still have, like, I still feel something for it. So when I do sell it, it's kind of sad to like see something that you have or you currently own kind of leave. So I try to like kind of distance myself. I know it sounds weird, hopefully that makes sense, but what I have left is here. And I'm just going to show you in no order and then really quickly explain why I'm parting with it. So starting with some fun purchase. So this is a by far, I think it's called the Manu bag. And then when I bought it, it was because it was on sale at Saks, and I just thought it was fun. But when I got it, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention to the dimensions, but when I got it, I was like, it's a little bit bigger than I want, and also the shoulder strap at the top is a little bit too wide, to where it does that thing where when it sits on my shoulder, it's just like it's too stiff, it's too wide, it wants to slide, and so from a functionality, it was uncomfortable. when I lift it like this, these things flare out like two little pigtails. And I'm like, I don't really like that either. But it's really light. The color is this off-white, which usually goes pretty well with everything. And then on the inside, it's just one open compartment with this like slip pocket in the back. Oh, it's the sense tag in the back, and then the closure is just these two magnetic spots, and then it just kind of closes. It's definitely big enough. It fits everything you can imagine. It's just the whole design doesn't really work very well for me, so then I decided that I was going to let this one go. Next one, also by far. This was something that I, again, bought on sale. It was on sale, so there's definitely that appeal. And then it is the By Far Rachel bag, which I think a few years ago, like this style was like on fire. I got it in the red because that's what was on sale. But also I kind of like this like pop of color, if you will. But I don't use it as much as I thought I would, and also as much as I enjoy the pop of color, it's hard for me to really like incorporate it. And then I hate to say this, but honestly, it looks a little cheap. Does that make sense? No offense towards anybody who owns one of these bags. Functionality, it's nice. The shoulder strap is the right size. The volume that it can hold is great. The color does have that pop, like it's like a really, really true red. But then when I look at it, it feels a little cheapy. And so when I wear it, sometimes I feel like a little bit off. And so I decided that I'm just gonna part with this one. With any product, doesn't matter if it really is cheap or not. If it doesn't really feel, if you're not really feeling it, you should probably part with it. So that's why I'm letting this one go. Next one, this Bottega clutch. When I first got this, I had so many plans. I was gonna like use this in ways that no one's ever used a clutch before. It's the larger weaving. The size is definitely good. Well, at least I thought at the time. It's really simple. It's very, I hate the classy looking, I guess. And I just thought it was gonna be great. So when I got it, I had really high hopes for it. There's a zipper closure. The bag itself is soft. The top is a little bit stiffer, I think, to kind of just hold the overall structure together. It's a gold zipper at the top that says Bottega Veneta on it. It also has it embossed here, and then there is a snap closure patch pocket on the side. And I think it's beautiful, but the part that really gets me is this is woven together, I guess is the word. But it's not to the point where it's like tight. So this is my hands on the inside of the bag, and if I go between the two strips of leather, I can literally stick my finger from the inside to the outside. That's a big deal because I carry small things. Like if I were to put like my earrings in there, or if I had like a lipstick or something, a thinner one, it could easily fall out. Do you see that? Like my finger's literally coming out from the inside of the bag. And so it just made me really uneasy. I don't know like what you can do, but it just comes, it's open. So then I know there's that patch pocket in here, but it's not like it zips. It's just a snap, so it can still come out through the sides. And then if it's something small, if I'm in a hurry, I just imagine me losing something very important and being super upset about it. So I don't like that. I know you can put one of those organizers in there and stuff, but it just doesn't work for me. The moment I put like a organizer in there, it's gonna be all bulky. And then even with the organizer, unless there's a zipper at the top, it could come out of the organizer and still get lodged somewhere on the outside between the bag and the outside of the organizer, and it could still come out. So this whole thing, the fact that the weave sounds so strange, but you know what I mean. The leather isn't tight, it's not secure, and it's just the few pieces like braided together and then stuff can fall out is a no-go. So as nice as this looks, I just couldn't do it. So that's why I'm parting with it. I literally haven't used it in like months. So that's why I'm separating from that one. Next one is this Ferragamo bag. Honestly, I don't know the name of this one. I just know that I worked my ass off to try and find it. I wanted it so bad because I think this pocket in the front and then this was just so pretty. And then there's this flap that's really nice. And then the interior is organized. It's full leather. And the overall design is really pretty to me because you have this top handle that you can sit down. You have a shoulder strap and you actually unbuckle this and make it longer. I love this bag to death, and actually as I'm kind of going over it, I'm like, maybe I won't sell this one, but I just never really use it. I think it's because, again, it's the size. When you put too much stuff in there, it gets really bulky looking. And then with this clasp, it just, for some reason, I just have never been a huge Ferragamo fan, and I just thought, I don't love it to death, but as I'm looking at it, maybe I should keep it. But anyways, this was one that was on the list to let go. But the nice thing about this bag is the full leather. It's organized. It's light enough considering it's full leather. There's a top handle. There's a shoulder strap, and it's pretty timeless looking. I just think the reason why I have it in this pile to part with is just because it's just not my style anymore, but we'll see. Next one, this was 100% an impulse buy. Does anyone recognize it? It's the Alexander Wang Attica, like fanny pack belt bag. This thing is super cool to look at, and when you see people using it, it's super cool to see them styled like however with the bag. But in execution, in use, it's just a lot going on. You have like this strap, you have this big heavy gold buckle, you got like chains and zippers everywhere, and then it does fit quite a bit. But I think for me, maybe I feel like it's not really part of my aesthetic when it comes to my accessories. There's just too much going on, and honestly, I don't know if this is because I've aged, but one thing I don't really like is tons of zippers. Like, I don't know if I've said it in other videos, but I hate the feeling of zippers scratching on my skin. And so I think this being like zipper central is also not very appealing with me. I don't like all this hardware. It's like cold against your skin. It's noisy, it's clunky. So then for me, it's so cool looking. It's just not for me. So that's where I decided I'm going to part with it. The nice thing about this bag is the leather is so soft. It's super soft leather, and there's so many compartments that if you're a person that really likes keeping it super organized, like your chapstick's always here, your AirPods are always here, your phone, and it, like if you really want that compartmentalization, this is definitely the one that would go good for you. So that's, but for me, I just can't. Like this drives me nuts. I think it's an old person thing. I think as I'm getting older, I'm like more sensitive. Like I can't deal with cold metal on my skin. I don't like zippers. I don't like too much noise. I'm gonna be one of those ladies that are gonna be like, get off my lawn. It's gonna be great. And then let's see. Next one is this Levee, I think is how I was told it's pronounced. This Amazon bag. I got this one a long time ago. And I think what really sold me is this handle thing. I was like, oh my god, it's so cool. There's so much personality to it. But then a big kick for me is there's no shoulder strap. And I think the newer ones do have a shoulder strap. And what attracted me to it before is now what makes me also not like it. Because again, I think it's your taste change. And before you did want to have like a lot of personality. Now I'm very plain and neutral. If these straps were just brown like this trim, I would totally keep it and keep using it. But at this point with these bright orange color straps, I just can't anymore. But the bag itself is light. Levee has really, really great quality. This suede is beautiful. It's light. It's completely leather on the inside. That's the other thing is I love this, but just not here. Like, I'm glad I can zip it up and no one knows that I'm such an exciting person on the inside. but I can't with these, so that's why. But other than that, it's beautiful. For anyone who likes Levee, I would definitely recommend it, just depending on your design and your style. Careful with the handle color. I have 3 more. I'm so sorry, this video is gonna go so long. This is a Bvlgari Leone bag, and it's dusty, definitely dusty. I got this, oh my god, forever ago. But I at the time loved this bag. I thought it was so cool with it. Again, the leather is so nice. This is really substantial hardware. There's this pocket in the front, this middle pocket, a zip pocket, a patch pocket here, and then my favorite part was this back pocket. Like, you can just put stuff in. You can get to it. The part that I don't like it is the closure. So this is the kind where you have to put it in and then lift it up. Oop. Easy girl. You have to put it in here and then you pull up so it kind of locks in. And it was hard for me to really grasp that. And so for me, when I was using it, I was like always trying to like in and lift, and it was just a lot for me. So I kind of lost favor with it. And then I think the shoulder strap is nice, but it's a little bit too long for me. This isn't really the type of bag that you can wear crossbody and it makes sense just because of the size, but it's a beautiful bag. Again, I think I just kind of, my style has changed, so I've kind of moved on from it, but still beautiful. 2 more, guys, almost done. This is from like 2007. This is how long I hold on to stuff, like forever. This is a Marc Jacobs bag. I think it's called the Venetia. This bag has been with me since before my daughter was born, which is a long time. And back in the day when Marc Jacobs was like the coolest thing ever, at least to me, he released a bunch of bags that follow the same quilting, and they're very, very durable. It's a heavy leather. This was an off-white color, and even now it still is really, really clean considering how old it is. The leather holds up really well. The hardware holds up well. The inside is like this linen, but there's no weird, like, you know how the glue starts to show on certain things when it's like this type of material? That hasn't happened. There's a pocket that snaps closed, and then behind it there's another pocket, and then that's about it. There are these 2 pockets in the front with the lock, so you just push it and then you can lift it up. And then you have pockets like this, which I found a hair tie in there. Awesome. This is again, it's really beautiful as a handbag, but for me it's a little bit not in my style anymore, I should say. I think it's still really, really lovely, but I haven't used it literally in like 2 years, so I thought it would be nice to maybe find it another home and someone can really get a lot of use out of it. Last one. This is the Prada Edge bag, and the color is cameo, like this light pink. When this bag came out, let's see, my daughter was, so it was like 2012, 2013. When this bag came out, I was going nuts trying to find it. Like, I really was doing everything I can to get a hold of this bag because I thought it was the coolest bag ever. The best. And I called different Pradas. I finally found one. They were going to ship it to me, but they shipped it to my billing address rather than my ship to address. I had to get my friend to pick it up from my home there and ship it. It was so much work, but I did. The idea of this bag made me so happy. And it's so funny, as I'm saying that, now I'm like, oh, I'm going to sell it. The reason why I don't use this bag is because 1, it's heavy. And then 2, it's organized in a sense, but then the space is really limited because it's overall it's very narrow compared to the number of compartments. So you can't really fit tons of stuff in there because, let me just count this down for you. There's 1 zip pocket here, 1 open pocket here, this clasp compartment in the middle, another open compartment, another zip compartment. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 compartments in this amount of space. So every compartment you can't put a lot into, because then it kind of just like bulges weird. If you put a whole bunch in this first compartment, it kind of just takes up the space, and then your other like 4 compartments you can't really get much into. It's heavy. That's the other thing. And because of there's so many compartments, it's kind of awkward. The ones on the sides are not super stiff, but then the one in the middle has this like metal frame, and so you go between being like super structured to not to super structured again. So it's just a lot with this bag. And then also not being a huge fan of zippers, you see there's a lot of zipper there. And then because it's been a while, for me this style's a little bit out of date for me too. I know if you look at it from the side, it kind of looks like the executive totes that they have, which I have one I will never part with. That's one bag that I'm gonna keep until the handles break off. This one, I feel like I'm at a place where I can part with it and not feel too bad. Hardware wise, it does okay. The only thing with the gold hardware is it starts to rub on the leather, so you can see like there's some dark spots there from it. A little bit of the gold has started to tarnish. So I don't know what it is about the materials that these designer brands use, but you would think they would get stuff that wouldn't tarnish, which is not the case. So this is the last one. That's everything that I'm planning on parting with. And why? I think I just really want stuff to be organized, and it's more about quality versus quantity. This stuff, as much as I appreciate it, if I don't use it, it just sits there. It kind of just clutters up the space. Any money that I make from selling this stuff is actually not going to go into handbags, because again, this year I'm not buying bags. I'm really going to hold off and evaluate what I'm really missing. What I do plan on doing is with the money that I get from this stuff is potentially designing my own something. I can't share it yet because I'm afraid if I say it out loud, I'll jinx it. But there's something that I've been really wanting to do, create on my own, and I think that's what anything I make from this is going to go towards. And I say make, like I'm going to make money. Unless you have Chanel handbags that you bought from like 2006 and you're selling at current price, very rarely do you ever make money on selling an old a pre-loved handbag. So I shouldn't say make money. Anything I recoup, I'm going to use towards that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck. If there's any questions you have about these handbags, whether it be like what's a good thing, bad thing, if it fits, please let me know. But I am in the process of getting these out the door and hopefully into good homes. So thanks everyone. Have a great weekend.